This is for anyone thinking of replacing the stereo in their Mitsubishi Montero, kind of year 2000s and thereabouts, especially if you have the Infinity 8 speaker sound system with the built-in amp, because that changes everything. And to know if you have that, here, for example, here's what came out of this car, truck, SUV, whatever you want to call it. And here's, so I've done a bunch of car stereo things. I've done a bunch, just hacked them in, and I thought I'd do it properly this time and work out the harness. But when you look at the back of this bad boy, none of these are speaker connections, and that is because you've got the connection to the car, that center one. This cable is for CD changer, which my car doesn't have. This is super confusing, 2 antennas. As far as I can tell, nothing that you're likely to buy is going to have 2 antennas, so the other cable can just flop around in there, not a problem. But this bad boy is a connection that I originally thought was just a fancy speaker wire connection, that round one, but it's not. It's a sender. It sends all the line level signals back to the amp, and the amp is way back in the car somewhere. So unlike usual, what you expect is you pull a deck out and you find the speaker wires and you work out which speaker wires are for which speakers, and you connect them all up and you're good to go. You cannot do that with this car, because the speaker wires go from the speakers to the amp, which I believe is behind it. I think it's in the trunk area somewhere. I didn't even look very hard. So the good news is with these Monteros, even though this is a single height, it's called single DIN, they have that, and then they have a little pocket underneath them, so they're the perfect size for a double DIN. And double DIN things are really cool. Personally, the flavor I went for was Android, because I'm an Android guy, because the idea of having Android, Spotify for music, Waze for navigation absolutely makes me very, 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 very happy. So yeah, I'm loving this. My kid loves that she can watch YouTube videos while we're driving down the road. This is, for the record, this is a Joying. It was just over $300 on Amazon. It's their latest version with Android 5.1.1. To give it a 10-second review, it's really good. I'm very happy with it. It always has power, so when you switch the key on, it already has power. It's not like it's booting up, it's just putting power to the screen. I built a Wi-Fi hotspot in the car using a Google Fi card and an old phone, long story. But so the car always has, this is always connected to the internet, which is really nice. What else do I need to say about that? Not a whole lot. Yeah, as far as the head goes, it's great. 5.1.1 Android does not have OK Google always, and that's a bit of a bummer, because that would be really nice, just to say OK Google. This came with a that's GPS that wired along there, under there, across there. Blah, blah, blah. It came with a speaker with a microphone that I wired down and across underneath. It can take a backup camera, which I haven't played with. It can take a USB dash cam, which I'll probably do. So I have a USB cable coming here. I have another USB cable in there. And in there I use a USB dongle with a bunch of audiobooks on it, so that when I'm driving along I can listen to audiobooks. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, back to the actual process of installing anything in these. What you absolutely must do is buy a deck that's not so much, you can't send speaker signals out of the back of this into the speakers. You have to have a front left and right, rear left and right, audio level out to go to the amp. And then you can make things really, really easy. Actually, really easy. This has a standard, this block is pretty standard. I think many new decks now have a standard ISO regulated block. So that came with it with wires hanging off, and I hooked those wires into just a handful of them. What did I do? That is, so the white bit of that is what's coming out of the car. The black bit is a Mitsubishi harness adapter. So I got that from, where did I get that? I think I got that from just Car Toys. But the only wires that are coming out of that really are power, constant power, key on power. Orange is illumination, so when the lights go on, that makes sure that the system lights its buttons up because it knows it's nighttime. But very, very, very little. So we've battery. I've got a ground coming out of the back of the deck, which I attach to this mount because it can ground through the antenna, but that's likely to create kind of noise with revs. But there's actually very few things connected in on this system to that block because look, there's only about 5 wires coming through there. It's super skinny in terms of functionality. What was another of those? There was another of those. It's been a few. I've just taken this apart because I wanted to play around with the idea of using a cam, so it's been a few weeks since I did that and I forget some of the details. But we've got a wire for when the key's on, we've got constant battery, we've got a wire that says the lights are on, and we've got a ground, and that's pretty much it. And then the trick to making this all super easy is to buy this product. So this harness, this was 20 bucks from Car Toys. This is made by Murta. The parts number is 70-7003, and that makes your life super easy. You just connect it to the wire coming out of the car that went into the standard deck. You connect those 4 wires. You connect those 4 cables to the outgoing line level outs from the deck, and then one of them, there's an amp continuous that comes out of the back of the deck, and that is basically it's pretty standard for them to send a signal to an amp to tell the amp that it's time to do its work. So that also goes back through that harness, and that's it. It was super easy to wire up once I worked everything out. These plates on the side, this is on the original deck. The deck was in the top and the little storage compartment was screwed on at the bottom. It's not perfectly lined up with this one, but 2 screws hold that on pretty nicely. So physical fit was really easy. And then once that slides in, it slides into the same setting, same spacing as the original, and then that trim piece goes back on perfectly, and it all just works. So I'm going to put it back together again, and I'll try and pause this. You never know. You might have another 30 seconds after this. And there it is. I've got that bottom one. Oh, hang on, one more screw. And just a second. So, 4 screws. I've got the ground wire coming around and going to that bottom screw because it is actually going to metal. Gotta put this phone down. That clip goes over, and I think that's pretty standard doubled in size. Nice feature of this unit. Let's do a reboot. Sure. Stop boinging. So a nice feature of these Android units is you can control the boot screen, and there are standard options for Mitsubishi logo, which is kind of nice. So there you go. Hope that helps.